What's the matter with everybody, anyway? Anyone would think my store was in quarantine the way people seem to keep away from it. Son of a gun, it's a gall darn shame, that's what it is. Gall darn it, Joe. With business as bad as it is, what have you got to be so happy about?
Plenty, Mr. Fuddle. Look at this. I'm gonna give this to Ann tonight.
Yeah, you better forget it, son. With things the way they are, looks like we're gonna have to shut the gall darn place up, son.
Oh, young man. UK brand. Everything UK brand. Never heard of them.
Can I help you, ma'am?
Are these the only peas you have?
Yes, ma'am, and they're delicious.
3 cans for a quarter.
No, ma'am, they're 4 for a quarter. We're having a special on these today. They're 5 cans for a quarter. They're very nice peas, ma'am. 6 cans for a quarter. 7 cans for a quarter.
Find everything you want, madam?
No, but I will across the street.
That'll be 9 cents, please. Thank you, madam.
All right, Lionel, dear, Mother.
Good night.
Good night.
$0.07, 18 cents, 4 cents, 27 cents, 3 cents, son of a gun. Joe! Jumpin' Joe has a back! Joe! Joe, come here!
What's the matter, Mr. Fuddle?
Look at this. We're not taking in enough money to pay expenses. Yeah, I can't understand why the stuff isn't selling. It's the
I know
same
what
with
the trouble
everybody.
is, Mr. Fuddle. Look at this stuff. It's all unknown brands.
But there's a bigger margin of profit on this merchandise.
Well, I'd rather make a small profit on a brand that sells.
But Mr. Squeeze insists I put in UK brand.
Mr. Squeeze. That's just because his bank owns a UK food company.
Well, I know that, but what can I do? He'll owe me the money to finance my store.
I never did like that guy. He's always making a play for Ann. Look, Mr. Fuddle, I'm in love with your daughter, and I think Ann's the most wonderful girl in the world, and we're going to get married, and...
Why, Joe! Why hadn't you told me?
Hello, Ann. Don't forget, we're going out to dinner tonight.
Yes, Joe, but this time it's your turn to pay. Why, Joe, you're blushing.
Oh, Ann. I've got a big surprise for you.
I can hardly wait. Hello, Daddy. Ready to quit for the night?
Ready to quit, period. Hello!
Now look, Fuddle, about that note.
I mean...
I won't give you another minute.
Yes, I know, Mr. Squeezer. I know it's overdue. I was going to ask you if you would... Joe, he's going to foreclose on me. What'll it do?
Tell him we can't help it if the customers won't buy the...
What do you think this bank is, a charitable institution? Do you think I'm in business for my health? I let you have money in good faith. Yes,
Maybe there's something I can do. See you later, darling.
Ann!
Murphy's Grill.
Ann!
8 o'clock.
Where are you going?
I want my money or I'll foreclose.
But I can't pay you the money right now. If you'll only... But think of my family.
That's what I am thinking of. Now, if I were your son-in-law, it would be a different matter. You know what I mean, Pop? I'll give you till noon tomorrow to pay that note, Fuddle. Come in! Well, hiya, gorgeous. I was just talking to your father.
I want to talk to you on business.
Any business with you is a pleasure, my dear.
It's about my father.
Oh, let's discuss it over dinner, darling. I've got a plan all worked out.
But honestly, I can't this evening.
It's important for your father's sake, my dear.
there, squeeze. Your usual table? This way, please.
Thanks, Henri. Be right with you, honey.
Check your hat, Mr. Squeeze.
Hiya, babe.
Anne, my dear, I'm crazy about you.
Toe up easy, cremate the toes, sign of beans. Hamburger walking, hold the onions.
I guess I'm just not good enough for Ann.
You know I can give you so much, my dear. Just say the word and your father's worries will be over.
Oh, I don't know what to say.
Say yes.
Hello.
Where'd you come from?
There's no need to be frightened of me. I know your problem. I know all about Ann and Squeeze and Mr. Fuddle and the store failing, and I've come to help you.
Well, who are you?
I'm Easy. That's my name, and Easy always does it. Easy does it, Easy does it. Easy solves your problems when you're blue. Easy does it, Easy does it. Easy does it all for you. When in trouble or in doubt, call on me, I'll help you out. Easy does it, Easy does it. Easy does it all for you.
There's nothing you can do.
Yes, there is, Joe. I want to take you for a trip in my magic plane and prove it to you. Will you come?
Well, I guess,
Good. Let's go.
Well, where are we going?
We're going nearly 60 years back into time. Well, Joe, here we are back in 1898 in Tennessee.
1898?
Yes, sir. And there's Mrs. Stokely's farm. Let's go down and take a look, huh? Yeah, there's our 4 sons helping with the tomato canning.
Hurry up, Ma. This basket's sure heavy. We checked them, and they're all perfect.
Oh, perfect. Oh, heavens to Betsy, son. This one's not good enough. I'm going to can only the finest.
Hey, she certainly was stubborn about quality.
You bet. That's why our canned food soon became famous throughout the entire neighborhood. Everybody wanted to buy it. And the first thing you know, she had her own little factory. And it wasn't long until that little factory grew into a big, up-to-date cannery.
And what happened to her 4 boys?
Oh, they grew up with a business and kept the same high standards set by Ma Stokely. Always searching for the best locations for new growing areas.
But why did they choose those particular spots?
That's a $64 question and $1 million answer. Look, Joe, say you pick this soil for tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And say this soil for peaches.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but it wouldn't grow so good. Because this is a peach area, and this area is better for vegetables.
Oh, but dirt's dirt. What's the difference?
Dirt's dirt to you, but not to Stokley's. And that isn't all, Joe. Climate. Sunshine and rain are just as important. Come on, I'll show you. Easy to Jupiter Pluvius! Easy to Jupiter Pluvius! Turn on that stove! We're coming in! We're coming in!
Roger.
Juke Pluvius, meet Joe Eager. Joe Eager, Juke Pluvius. Say, Juke, how about giving Joe a sample of that finest ring?
Oh, for Stokely's, the best.
That's the rain that does the most good, and it falls right over the good soil area.
Well, I'll be darned.
And now for the best sunshine. Off to visit old Sol. Thanks, Juke.
Anytime, easy. Anytime.
It's getting kind of hot. Maybe we'd better not go in.
Easy to old Sol. Easy to old Sol. Hey, Sol, how about some of that just right sunshine? See where that beam warms the earth, Joe?
Mm-hmm. Say, it falls right on the best soil in the finest grain area.
Right, Joe. And where all three overlap is the spot Stokely's picked to grow their finest. So that's where they built their cannery.
Gee, do they only have one cannery, Easy?
Only one? Why, Stokley has canneries everywhere. Up in Canada, all over the United States, and even across the Blue Pacific and Hawaii. But let's get down to earth, Joe. I want to show you one of Stokely's finest growing areas.
Gosh, Easy, they're beautiful.
And you know why? Good breeding, Joe. Good breeding. Let me show you. The family album. You know, Joe, Stokely's tomatoes aren't just plain tomatoes.
Well, what are they?
They're pedigreed.
Say, she's a cute little tomato.
Uh-huh. That's Miss Landrop. A tasty dish. And that's Mr. Bojino. I sort of introduced them, and it was love at first sight. You know, wedding bells and orange blossoms and...
Theirs?
Uh-huh. Little Van Camp. And that's Senorita Tomato from South America. I introduced them, too, and...
They were married?
Uh-huh.
And did they,
Uh-huh.
Jeepers, that's quite a family.
Yes, sir. Stokely's family of tomatoes has a pedigree that's 30 years old.
Gosh, Easy, after all that trouble, these tomatoes must be perfect for canning.
They are. But only the finest of these are sent to Stokley. And it doesn't stop there, Joe. Why, within 1 hour after they're picked, they start on their way through the canneries. The first step is a plunge into a pool of clear, fresh water. And up they go. Next, a real cold shower. Now they're ready for a rigid inspection. Only the juiciest and healthiest pass the test. Then these choice specimens get a nice hot bath. Hot enough to make them peel off their coats. Down the slide and into the cans. And bingo, they're sealed. On into the cooker where they're cooked to perfection. Yum, yum is right. And then for that guarantee of finest quality, the Stokley label. Stokley scientists constantly check to make doubly sure that only the best will be shipped on its way to the consumer.
Gosh, I can hardly wait to tell Mr. Fuddle what I've seen.
Not yet, Joe. Not until I take you to see the Stokely man. Here we are now.
No trouble at all, Joe. Glad to help you anytime.
Thanks. Easy's just shown me how Stokely's produce nothing but the finest.
Well, now let me show you Stokely's finest selling plan. The success of
of any grocery operation, wholesale or retail, is measured by continuing profits day after day. And profits are the direct result of turnover.
Well, just what does that mean?
Well, when two different brands of the same type of merchandise are displayed side by side, one brand will often outsell the other 5 to 1 or better, even at a higher price.
See, Joe? That's turnover.
Yes, and it means that the money the grocer has invested in WK, the fast-selling brand, turns over many more times than the money invested in the UK brand, the slower seller, bringing the grocer a far greater total profit, even at a lower margin per can.
But what does WK and UK stand for?
Well, WK stands for the well-known brand, and UK for the unknown brand.
I get it.
Okay. Now, here are some actual profit figures taken from side-by-side displays of well-known brands versus unknown brands in typical grocery stores. These official tests were made by a leading trade paper. The well-known brand of flour netted the store a profit of $29.12. The unknown brand, nothing.
Gee, look! $196.35 profit on a well-known brand of macaroni and only $27.30 on the unknown brand.
Say, that's 5 times the profit.
Yes, sir. And there's $440.96 as against only $66.77 on salt. $24.26 as against only $1.03 on soups. And $29.64 as against only $17.16 on cereals.
Boy, a well-known brand sure are the profit makers, eh, Joe?
But what makes a well-known brand well-known?
Well, first, a well-known product of outstanding quality. Second, sound, consistent advertising that people actually read. And third, sound merchandising in the store that produces volume sales and profits. Here is a typical housewife. She's glanced at a lot of ads, but she's read every word of the Stokley's finest ads, as research proves. When she enters your store, she's already been pre-sold on the Stokely finest label. Notice how these bright, attractive labels, packed with appetite appeal, give a real lift to the appearance of the store. Notice also the family resemblance in the complete line of all Stokely labels. One Stokely's finest product sells another and brings you extra profits.
And the Stokely label was selected by a group of experts as the outstanding descriptive label in the industry, giving the housewife more accurate information about the product in the can.
Swell. But how about that sound merchandising that makes for volume sales and profits?
Well, first there's the day-to-day merchandising. We all know that both grocers and customers like recipes, and that reprints of the national advertising sell merchandise.
Oh, I see. So you put these two proved selling elements together in one display piece.
That's right, and it does a multiple selling job for you because it not only sells Stokely's finest products, but all the other products necessary for this complete menu. In order to make the dishes featured, a woman buys many items in your store.
Now tell them about the Stokely Weeks, Mr. Stokely man.
You bet, Easy. When grocers tie in with ads like this, Stokely Weeks are the greatest traffic and volume builders in the grocery business.
Stokely Weeks draw customers to your store in droves.
And remember this, Joe. Like anything else, you get as much out of a Stokely Week as you fellows in the store put into it.
See, Joe? You fellas in the store are the important guys.
Mass displays like these are surefire. The bigger they are, the more they sell. And remember to build them with starter gaps. Women don't like to disturb a symmetrical display like this. And window displays will pack your store with buyers for everything you sell.
When this colorful Stokely Week display material goes up, your sales go right up with it. It makes every Stokely week a celebration in your store.
And be prepared with plenty of Stokely's finest merchandise to replenish these fast-selling pyramids. Yes, Joe, when you put on a Stokely week, you'll see how it always results in large volume sales and profits, how it builds store prestige, how it draws new customers like a magnet, and keeps them coming back again and again for Stokely's finest foods. Yes, Stokely Weeks are the biggest volume producers in the business for all products in your store, as dozens of letters like this will prove. It may interest you to know that this last weekend was the biggest grocery volume weekend in the history of the Bridgeport King Coal Market. Yes, easy does it with Stokely's finest.
Gee, thanks a million, Mr. Stokely, man. You sure sold me. This'll save Mr. Fuddle's store.
Attaboy, Joe. The Stokely trucks will be there first thing in the morning.
Easy does it, easy does it. Easy solves your problems when you're blue. Easy does it, easy does it. Easy does it all for you. When in trouble or in doubt, call on me, I'll help you out.
Easy does it, easy does it. Easy does it all for you.
What the? Joe! Joe! Hey, Joe! What the Sam Hills are going on in here?
We're getting off to a fresh start, Mr. Fuddle, with a complete line of Stokely's finest product.
But what do you mean by...
Now, don't get excited, Mr. Fuddle. I'll let Easy explain.
Easy? Who's Easy?
That's me. Joe's right, Mr. Fuddle. He's found out what's wrong. That's why he's putting in a new line.
But I can't afford it.
Don't worry. Joe's taking care of that part.
I told you I had some money saved up.
You shouldn't have done it, Joe.
It's no gamble. It's a sound investment.
A Stokely display will always pay.
Easy said it. A Stokely display will always pay.
Always pay.
Yes, always pay. A Stokely display will always pay. Do it the easy way.
Why, look. My store. It's beautiful. Joe, my boy, I believe you're right. You've got something.
You bet, Mr. Fuddle. We've got Stokely's finest. And look at those swell Van Camp profit products, too. Van Camp's beans, tenderoni, chili con carne, and lots of other surefire items. They're real money makers that thousands of folks eat, and enjoy.
I'm with you, son. Yes, sir, Rebob. And you're doggone tootin'.
I'm going to tell Hannah about the good news.
But Easy. Fuddle Supermarket. Hello, Ann. What? You can't, Ann. No. Too late.
Joe, what's the matter?
Ann's run off with Squeeze.
What?
They're gonna get married.
Oh. Gosh, Joe. I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Oh, it's not your fault, Easy.
Joe, I won't let you down. We'll stop them.
You're right, Easy. Maybe there's still time.
Come on.
We'll take the shortcut.
Love, honor, and
Hurry, man, hurry.
I now pronounce you.
Out with it, man, out with it.
Joe!
Squeeze, you dirty rat. I'm gonna beat you within an inch of your life. And there's plenty more where that came from. Congratulate us, Pop.
Congratulate you? How about somebody congratulating me?
I think we all ought to congratulate Easy. Shucks, that was nothing. I told you, Stokely's finest never fails. Always remember, if you want to come out on top, Easy does it. Easy does it, Easy does it. Easy solves your problems when you're blue. Easy does it, Easy does it. Easy does it all for you.
When in trouble or in doubt, call on him. He'll help you out.
This is the story of an average sort of fellow who lives in a nice average neighborhood in a nice average town. Every night he comes home to his nice average house, and in due time he goes to sleep. But suppose that one morning possible for a neighborhood overnight to become a slum? Well, perhaps not quite. Although, while most of us have been asleep, housing has become our #1 social and economic problem.
Absolutely. And getting bigger all the time.
Oh, it's you. I might have known you had a stake in this.
A big stake, one of our most profitable fields of operation, and so easy to manage. I just check up. People do all the work. Yes, people think houses take care of themselves, but they don't. Houses left to themselves go to pieces.
Well, maybe this kind of thing wouldn't happen if people understood the problem.
Wouldn't make the slightest difference.
We disagree. Let's go back to the beginning. Suppose we get this fellow out here, educate him a little, and see what happens.
What's going on here? Just checking on your house.
Who are you?
You're the... Relax. I'm not him. Project supervisors. Division of Urban Destruction.
What?
Urban Destruction.
We don't need any destroying around here. Beat it.
I don't destroy anything. I just keep track of the schedules. People do the destroying. Did I let that paint peel? Did I crack that step? Did I neglect that rusty drain?
What are you talking about? My house is the best in the whole block.
Oh, what's the use?
Wait a minute. You haven't told him the whole story. Keep talking.
Talk's no good.
This is a slum.
One of my favorite projects. But wait till you see inside. 6 people sleep in this one room. 8 in here. 7 in here. Cooking facilities. Plumbing. 32 children in the house. And here is their playground.
This is one of your favorites, huh?
I can't really claim credit for it. People did it all. Do you remember how this looked 40 years ago when it was a new development called Paradise Gardens?
Paradise Gardens? My grandmother and grandfather lived here. Gee, it was a nice neighborhood.
They all start nice.
What happened?
Watch. By now, the street wasn't wide enough for the traffic load, so...
That's when Grandpa moved out, when the streetcars came.
A good many moved out about then, and the hood began to change. Property values went down fast, but landlords found ways to keep up revenues. 1-family houses became 10-family houses. Time, poverty, and neglect did the rest. Every step of the way, right on schedule, and I didn't lift a finger.
What's your interest in all this, anyhow?
This kind of neighborhood is fine for our business. Juvenile delinquency, alcoholism, crime. Yep, this is a great little neighborhood. Too bad it won't last.
Why not?
There might be a fire.
Why, you... Wait a minute. Is my neighborhood in that book?
Sure is.
Is my house in it?
Yep, you're on my schedule.
Well, that's one place your schedule's gonna be wrong.
Well, well. And this is the day he usually plays golf. What's the matter? You surprised?
It doesn't mean a thing. One man working by himself, what can he do?
Man's got to start somewhere. Let's see, time for the evening paper.
Paradise Garden.
Most unfortunate. I sent flowers this morning.
You hypocrite, you probably started the fire.
Why should I? With all that overcrowding in violation of every safety code, it was inevitable.
It was not. If I'd known when the fire was going to be, I might have been able to prevent it.
Impossible. It's all right here in the book.
Everything? Past, present, and future?
Everything.
Hey! Wait a minute. You said it didn't make any difference whether people knew or not.
That's right, I did. But where's he going?
He's going to City Hall to report the facts to the city officials.
Ridiculous. There's City Hall. There's your boy now. Most of the facts are known to the officials. But what can they do? Their hands are tied.
Listen to the mayor.
What good is our slum clearance program if we can't prevent disasters like Paradise Gardens? We've got to do something.
Do something. Now the expert will tell them what to do. That's the city planner.
We're in the same difficulty as every other city in the United States. Slum clearance is not enough. We've got to prevent slums being formed in the first place.
A most worthy object. And what's to prevent it?
Taxes!
Budget! You see, they're balking. Why, even if the planner tells them the exact trouble spots.
State Street, South Street, Hogan's Alley.
But we mustn't forget the public.
I've got some houses on State Street. Just leave us alone.
South Street is okay, too.
There you have it. There's nothing to be done.
Just a minute. The city planner is absolutely right. State Street, South Street, they're both in the book. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Baloney, and there's nothing the matter with Hogan's Alley.
Hogan's Alley? Holy smokes! Hogan's Alley's the worst of the lot. This afternoon, the chimney's going to fall. This afternoon, the chimney's going to fall.
Order! Who are you, sir? Where did you get your information?
It's all right here. This is the devil's own book.
Throw him out. He's crazy.
Bang! And another crusader bit the dust. Give me back my book.
2 o'clock. The chimney! Get everybody out of the building. The chimney's going to fall. Get out of the building! The chimney's going to fall!
He says the chimney's going to fall.
No fire. Chimney's going to fall in about 5 minutes. Get the people out of these houses.
You better be right, mister. False alarm, 90 days.
Now what do you think you're doing?
I'm trying to prevent another disaster.
He says the chimney's going to fall down.
In exactly 3 minutes.
Arrest that man. He's a troublemaker.
He says the chimney's going to fall down.
It can't fall down. I own it.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That chimney should have been torn down 3 years ago.
It's as sound as $1. I'll stake my life on it. When did you say it was going to fall down?
In exactly 1 minute.
I'll show you what I think of your prediction.
We've got to prevent things like this happening from now on. But we can't do it without public support.
We need a citywide group to study the whole problem.
Right. And the time to start it is right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we need a citizens committee on housing with representatives from every neighborhood in town.
All those in favor?
This is only the beginning. Now things will really start to move. More groups, more organizations joining in. And who do you think is the main spark plug?
I know we can win this battle because I know the fellow we've got to lick. You all know what he looks like. There. If your house needs a coat of paint, he's there. If your sidewalk has a crack in it, he's there. Find a leaky roof, he's there. Find a neighborhood without a playground, an overcrowded school, a traffic hazard. A zoning violation. A violation of the building code, the sanitary code. He's in every neighborhood, maybe in your own house. Wherever he is, go get him.
So they went after him. Everybody went after him. When everybody went after him, there was no place he could hide. Hello there. How's everything going?
Get out of here.
It didn't happen overnight, but things began to get better. Where are you going?
You and your blank committees. I've got my book back now.
Your book? What good is it now?
No good here. But this isn't the only town in America.
Well, they've driven him out of one town, but he may be on his way to your community right now. He may be there already, but you know how to handle him. He can't stand organized groups where people work together. If enough of us work together, we can run him right out of the country.
Get a grip on yourself, boy.
Charlie, dear, you're late.
It's all right, Martha. I'll make it up on the road. Bye, honey.
In his daily routine, Charlie Younghead, like all of us, feels the pressure of time. Funny how seeing an accident will slow us down a little. Anyway, it's better late to work.
Hiya, Charlie boy. What kept you?
Joe, why don't you grow up?
What's with him?
With the end of the day, Charlie's thoughts turn homeward.
Hey, watch it!
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, kid.
Kid is right. You big overgrown...
See you tomorrow, Charlie boy.
Charlie's right about Joe. He'll never grow up. Being grown up is a matter of accepting responsibility in all kinds of situations. Maturity isn't always measured by a person's age. Patience doesn't come easily to children.
I'm very sorry, but you didn't stop. But I had the right of way. I beg your pardon. The right of way was mine.
It's mine! 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 It's mine!
Now, what makes them act that way?
It's easy to see the mistakes of others when you set yourself a little apart, but it isn't always easy to set yourself apart. Charlie, get a grip on yourself.
What are you trying to do? Kill me? The freak!
Well, it looks like Charlie's going to win.
Went right off the end. All right, you people, you better step back.
What happened? What came over me?
You lost control, Charlie.
Oh, yes, the car wouldn't hold the...
No, Charlie. Control of yourself.
Okay, what happened here?
Officer, this guy was passing me real fast, see? Then he runs right off the road.
Well, let's take a look down there.
Am I dead?
Charlie, you're in this shape because you didn't act your age.
You don't blame me for...
You blame Joe. Saw him as a big, overgrown kid. Irresponsible. Dangerous.
See you tomorrow, Charlie boy.
But Charlie, it isn't only the Joes who are dangerous. There are moments when we all act like kids. It's human, but you're an adult. A grown man in a hurry to get home, impatient, keyed up.
Yeah. And how about an idiot who does this to you?
Sure, Charlie, he was at fault. But that was no reason for you to blow up.
But that guy...
Was that an excuse for going into a tantrum?
But I'm not a...
Anyway, it isn't only anger. It's anything that distracts us. Impatience, stubbornness, daydreaming, overconfidence, speeding, any of these uncalled for emotions. They can be murder behind the wheel.
But I'm not like those others.
It isn't those others, Charlie. It's you. It's everyone. No driver can afford to let his emotions drive him. When he does, he's like a child. And no child should drive a car.
I couldn't help myself.
Charlie, it's hard to be an adult. But at the wheel, you've got to be, if you want to stay alive.
Luckiest guy in the world. Turns his car over 3 times and walks away from it.
Walks away? Walks away? I'm not... Then I'm not... I'm not... I'm alive! Oh, boy!
Charlie!
Oh, boy!
Charlie, remember.
Okay.
You didn't stop at your house?
Oh. No, I'm not worried. Oh, Charlie, what on earth happened?
Something that makes me wonder if I've really grown up.
We've all heard a lot of quality claims about different gasolines, so many in fact that people can't help wondering just how important they are. The fact is that most of those gasoline claims are very important. Practically every one of them is based on years of research by oil companies and automotive engineers. There are certain basic qualities of gasoline, however, that determine whether or not it is really a good motor fuel. And that's what I'm here for, to give you an accurate, up-to-date picture of exactly how gasoline characteristics affect engine driving power. In order to get a better understanding of why gasoline characteristics mean so much to motorists, let's begin by taking a look at the main steps in gasoline production. Gasoline is made from crude oil and sometimes natural gas, which is pumped from deep in the earth. From the oil fields, the petroleum is pipelined to the refineries, where it is refined in order to produce gasoline, fuel oil, lubricants, and other products. Scientific research on the properties of petroleum and on the fuel requirements of engines has led to many new developments, including new methods for obtaining gasoline from crude oil. There are a number of different processes used to make the components of gasoline from the infinite variety of hydrocarbon compounds contained in crude petroleum. Today, 4 of the most important ones are straight-run distillation, thermal cracking, catalytic cracking, and catalytic reforming. The reasons for using these different processes are no one of them could possibly produce enough gasoline today, and each one of them produces gasoline with somewhat different characteristics. But no one of these gasolines can satisfy all the requirements of modern automobile engines. Therefore, gasoline manufacturers blend the products of these different processes in order to make high-quality fuels in sufficient quantity. By helping refiners make better use of each barrel of petroleum, such complex processes help conserve our natural resources, too. We've been talking about where gasoline comes from. Now let's talk a little about where it goes. Here, stick your head under the hood with me and we'll see, with this engine, just how the different characteristics of gasoline actually affect engine performance. Naturally, you're pretty familiar with the 4 basic steps in the operating cycle of an automobile engine. Here's number 1, the fuel intake stroke. As the piston goes down, a mixture of fuel and air is sucked into the combustion chamber through the open intake valve. Number 2 is the compression stroke. The intake valve is closed now and the piston is coming up, forcing the gasoline and air mixture into a smaller and smaller space. And here's the power stroke. The spark plug fires, the fuel burns, and the piston is forced down by the rapidly expanding gases. And last is the exhaust stroke. The hot burned gases are pushed out the open exhaust valve as the piston rises. When it reaches the top, it's all ready to begin all over again, sucking in more fuel. Now, the way gasolines are made, the characteristics they have, determine what they do once they're inside that engine. Take the characteristic of volatility as a case in point. Volatility means how readily something evaporates. You probably know it, but surprisingly few people realize that the fuel their car burns is not just the liquid gasoline that goes into the tank. Liquid gasoline must be vaporized and mixed with the right proportion of air before it'll burn inside an engine. And that, of course, is what the carburetor is for, mixing gasoline with air in the right ratio. It also is one of the reasons why volatility is such an important characteristic of gasoline. But there's more to it than that. In a sense, an automobile engine is like a fireplace. The fuels they both use must have several different properties in order to burn properly. For example, no one in his right mind would try to light a fire with coal. It's too hard to get started. On the other hand, it would be just as silly to try to make a lasting fire of paper alone. We use paper for lighting, wood for fast warm-up, and coal if we want it to put out a lot of continuous heat. In a sense, it's the same with gasoline. The part of petroleum that becomes gasoline contains hydrocarbon molecules that evaporate over a wide range of temperatures. As the motor fuel experts put it, gasoline contains many different fractions. Since automobile engines are required to operate over a wide range of temperatures, they need fuel containing many such different fractions. The light hydrocarbons, like the paper in the fireplace, are needed for cold starts. On the other hand, the heavier molecules, like the wood and the coal, produce somewhat more heat and are necessary for acceleration, power, and mileage. Engines, you might say, just don't like their gasoline straight. They prefer a balanced blend that has what it takes for all the condition a car is likely to be up against. Cold weather starts. Hot weather punishment. High-speed cruising. Or heavy work on tough grades. By the way, there are a couple of possible pitfalls in this problem of volatility that you may have encountered in your own experience. One of them is that old headache vapor lock. You ever see a fella have this kind of trouble on a hot day when it had been running just fine a few minutes before? That was probably vapor lock. It's caused by some of the light fractions of gasoline evaporating in the fuel line before they even reach the carburetor. When this happens, the bubble of gasoline vapor blocks the line, so the fuel pump can't get enough gasoline to the engine. But how in the world, people naturally wonder, can they make gasoline so that it will not vapor lock in the summer and still start a cold motor in the winter? Well, the answer is, gasolines are carefully adjusted for each season. The gasoline that's sold in the winter is a different mixture of petroleum fractions from the gasoline sold in the summer, even though both of them come from the very same pump. If that weren't done, motorists would continually be having trouble with either starting or vapor lock. Incidentally, refiners make a similar adjustment for the different parts of the country. Lower volatility in the south, higher volatility in the north. The other pitfall in connection with volatility is crankcase dilution. This can happen when parts of the gasoline with too high an evaporating temperature are drawn into the cylinder in a liquid state. Instead of burning, this gasoline runs down the cylinder walls and mixes in with the oil in the crankcase, thinning it out. The answer to crankcase dilution and all other volatility problems is what gasoline manufacturers call balanced volatility. By blending together just the gasoline fractions they want, in just the amounts they want, the manufacturers have been able to meet every one of these tough requirements. As a matter of fact, most of the fuel you find on the road today is made to give you easy starting, quick warm-up, powerful steady driving, and at the same time avoid vapor lock and crankcase dilution. Another problem that's been brought well under control is trouble with impurities. Sometimes gum deposits and other impurities cause sticky valves, choked up manifolds, and carburetor difficulties. You can see here how a sticky intake valve would cut your engine performance. The valve doesn't quite close. As a result, some of the fuel air charge leaks away during compression and power is lost as the burning gases escape during the power stroke. Today, however, gasoline manufacturers have refining perfected to the point where the fuel they sell is well within the specified limits on impurities. Now I'd like to tell you about the most important quality of gasoline when it comes to engine performance. That's its anti-knock value. The anti-knock value of gasoline is the characteristic in its makeup that controls fuel knock in an automobile engine. Just to emphasize the harmful effects that fuel knock has on engine performance, let's make a test run up that hill with some low-grade gasoline in the tank. You do the driving. All set? Let's roll. Once we're on the hill, slow her down to about 10 miles an hour and then make her pull the grade in high gear. Hold the accelerator right on the floor. Okay, here we are on the hill. Now give her the gun. Hear that? Feel her lose power? No, don't let up on the accelerator and don't shift into second. Just keep her pulling, okay? You can park right here. Now that we've seen what engine knock does, let's take another look under the hood and check what causes it. Look in the combustion chamber again at the compression and power strokes. I showed you these before, but this time I'm going to ask you to stretch your imagination a little bit. To see exactly what happens when the fuel and air mixture burns in the combustion chamber, I'd like to begin by putting a coil spring inside that cylinder on top of the piston. That piston does the same thing to the coil spring that it does to the fuel mixture, only you can see it better with the spring. There's the piston coming up on the compression. See how that spring is compressed? Naturally, the tighter the spring is squeezed, the bigger the push it'll give the piston on the downstroke. That's why high compression engines give more power. Now let's look at the same thing as it really happens, with the fuel and air mixture being compressed, then ignited by the spark plug at just the right instant, and forcing the piston down as the burning gases expand. Notice that I said burning, not exploding. That's another common misconception many people have about automobile engines. They think the gasoline vapor just explodes all at once. Actually, it does something very different. Here is a slow motion close-up of what really happens after that spark plug fires. See how the flame spreads across the chamber? It all happens in a split fraction of a second, but it's still a gradual burning, not a sudden explosion. This is the way engine fuel should burn, because it's the most efficient way to push a piston. That's a fact. Pistons must be pushed. The trouble is that when fuel knock occurs, the pistons don't get a smooth, powerful push. They get a sudden smack that comes so fast and ends so quickly that they can't put it to good use. Now here's a slow motion close-up of combustion under knocking conditions. See how the burning starts out evenly like it did before? As more of the fuel burns, it expands and squeezes the remaining fuel even tighter. But watch, this time there's a terrific explosion which sets up a series of uneven shock waves in the cylinder. That's the inside story of a knock. It's caused by high temperatures and pressures on a fuel that can't take them without exploding. When it happens, drivers often feel they should let up on the gas or shift into second gear, just like you did back on the hill. Besides wasting power, knocking throws away fuel energy in the form of waste heat, which explains why fuel knock can cause overheating. Continuous overheating leads to shorter engine life and more repair bills. How can fuel knock be prevented? Mechanics know that it can be eliminated by simply retarding the spark on the engine. It's been done plenty of times. It works because with the spark retarded, the fuel isn't put under so much pressure while it burns, which reduces the tendency of the fuel to knock. And it also reduces the engine's chance of delivering the driving power it was designed to develop. Fortunately, there's no need to sacrifice power in order to avoid fuel knock. Just pick the right fuel, a fuel with high anti-knock value. High anti-knock rating in gasoline is important in more ways than one. For example, there's pre-ignition, a problem that can give quite a bit of trouble in some engines. But don't blame the engines. They're designed and built to really get the road out from under you. The trouble comes when these jobs get fouled up in low-speed, start and stop city traffic. This kind of driving causes a buildup of carbon deposits in the combustion chamber of these engines. Now, these deposits may get red hot and set off the new fuel air charge.
This picture is directed to all unit commanders and other officers and NCOs concerned with reenlistment. In fact, it is to be used as a supplement to the unit commander's Guide to Reenlistment. It is important to all Army personnel whose job it is to slow down the turnover of enlisted personnel in the Army. When you lose your trained men you counted on to do a job, it hurts you and it hurts the Army. And that's why the Army considers the reenlistment program one of your most important responsibilities. As each of you knows from your own personal experience, you can't order a man to re-enlist. Pleading won't get him to re-enlist. And you can't force them to re-enlist. You will, of course, receive replacements. But replacements are not a satisfactory solution. Definitely not.
Oh, no! This can't happen to me. I won't take them. I won't stand for it.
What a nightmare. Maybe some of you recognized it. It's the kind of a bad dream any unit commander or NCO can have. Let's look at a well-trained company. Your company. Here's a man whose enlistment will be up in a few months. And here's another, an excellent soldier, also on his way out. Also this man. And these two. 5 first-rate soldiers. It doesn't take any fancy arithmetic to figure it out. 5 at one time. 4 or 5 next time. Say 4 or 5 a month. Give it a year, and a third of your well-trained company could be gone. And if you take away the percentage you lose by levy each year, your company is experiencing a turnover that's too rapid for any organization, be it civilian or military. The Army system of automatic discharge is like a conveyor belt, moving men right out of the service, unless they decide for themselves to hop off and stay. If an advance, concentrated effort were made to explain to the men the benefits of staying in the Army, many more would fall into the ranks of re-enlistees. The reasons why men re-enlist are many and complex, like people. Job satisfaction is one important reason for re-enlistment. Job is the approach all worked out in detail in the re-enlistment guide, which outlines the basis for a successful re-enlistment program. Select any Army post on an average day and single out some of the men whose enlistment will soon terminate. For example, take this big, husky lad. What he wants out of life is to be a farmer. He was brought up on his family's 600-acre farm, and he loved the life. Obviously, he is not in the market for re-enlistment. However, re-enlistment may be a very good deal for other soldiers, like this next man. A different case entirely. He had been a factory worker before he was drafted, and he knew what it meant to be periodically unemployed. Now he wants job security. Here's a good prospect for re-enlistment. He understands the values of security as a result of his own experience. But he may need to be shown just how much and what kind of security the Army offers. Now, this man is a puzzle. A fair soldier, but he dreamed of becoming a big business tycoon. He doesn't seem to have too much to back up his dream. This type is never an easy situation. But sometimes you can help a man see that he's kidding himself, and that he can usually make good in the Army, at least training for a specific job. This boy comes from a hard-working family, and young as he is, he likes the idea of a secure future. Definitely a prospect. His buddy is a definite prospect too, but for an entirely different reason. His family had hoped he would pursue a profession like law or medicine, and they're well able to afford it. Trouble is, he isn't sure what he wants. He feels he needs time to look around, and he's coming around to the idea that another hitch might give him that time. In any of these cases, there is no assurance any of the men will re-enlist, unless someone takes action in advance with a planned program like the program in the re-enlistment guide, a simple, sensible, and effective re-enlistment program developed out of experience. The selection of your re-enlistment NCO is your first important step in organizing a re-enlistment program. Not all NCOs can do this kind of work. Look for the NCO who has these specific attributes. He must be able to handle paperwork, maintain a current roster of eligible men, get information, take care of literature, prepare re-enlistment personnel forms, schedule interviews, and dozens of similar details. In addition, your re-enlistment NCO should be popular with the men, the kind they'll talk to freely. Frequently, it's what he learns that will provide you with the clue to understanding a particular man. The more you can depend on your NCO, the less time you'll have to spend on the mechanics of the program. Next, give yourself time, plenty of time. We figure it will take you more than 3 months to do the job right on any potential re-enlistee. So start work 100 days before the man's ETS. That's short for expiration of term of service. If you're overseas, take an extra month. Make it ETS minus 130 days. Remember, begin preparation on each man on his ETS minus 100. Decide then and there if you want the man to stay. And if you do, you and the NCO should start collecting information on the prospect. Get the facts you expect he will want. A week or so later, say ETS minus 90, conduct the interview, the contact interview. This is to get an idea of the man's inner thinking, not much more. He should be asked to review selected literature. Show your interest. Make it short. Make it friendly. During the next few weeks, try to make informal contacts with your prospect, even if it's no more than a casual greeting or a friendly interest in his work. Meanwhile, think over how you're going to handle this prospect. And then, on or about ETS minus 60, 2 months before he's scheduled for automatic discharge, the re-enlistment interview itself, the soldier's hour. You want to be able to give your undivided attention to the prospect without interruption during the interview.
You sent for me, sir? Yes, Gibson, I did. Sit down.
It's very important to put the soldier at ease right at the start of the interview. You already know about his background, what he did before the Army, the girl back home he was planning to marry. You know all this. But the problem is to get him talking, to get him to tell you all about his plans. And given half a chance, he will. The previously prepared re-enlistment data card has information on the kind of civilian jobs he's had and the kind of training and assignments he's had in the Army. But try to get him talking about his civilian employment prospects. If he has had any difficult experiences, this will give you the opportunity to wrap up the 2 big points on opportunity and security. Give him the figures on pay and allowances prepared to cover his particular situation. when you total all the benefits, they look pretty good, especially when you count in the new reenlistment bonus and school opportunities. Yes, they add up to 2 big points: opportunity and security. And you can remind him, whatever his rank is now, it would be reasonable to expect a number of promotions during his future service. But if despite all your careful preparation, your prospect still holds back, don't be surprised. The man's probably got a gripe. And if you're patient, he'll come out with it. Let him get it off his chest. The odds are that once he talks it out, he'll see for himself that it doesn't really mean too much, and that reenlistment is the smart thing for him. From there on, it should be easy. And you're set to chalk up another reenlistment, thanks to good preparation and your ability to satisfy his very human need for patience and understanding. Of course, not all reenlistment interviews follow this pattern. The next one may be quite different. And the next one. Some interviews don't go at all the way you thought they would. But whatever the results of any specific interview, the reenlistment rate in your company will reflect the efficiency of your reenlistment team. Because it takes a team, the reenlistment officer and the reenlistment NCO, working together with an understanding of the basic principles to develop a successful reenlistment program. The next time you review your company, you will have the satisfaction of knowing that many of your men who are scheduled for discharge will choose to reenlist. And you'll be helping the Army accomplish its mission of effectively and efficiently serving the nation.
I'll never forget when I was landing signal officer and our carrier visited that place. What a place. What a port in a storm. What a happy bunch of Joes those flyers were. After those long weeks at sea, naturally the first place they'd head for was the public library. I'd hardly seated myself at one of the reading tables when out came the librarian. Hank was doing all right. There goes Hank disobeying the cut again. Another good flyer gone wrong. Unfortunately, he could be that way in a plane, too, without half trying. On his approaches, he usually starts his turns high and too fast. He overcorrects on my signals, and then he's slow and low and near the ramp, so I have to give him the cut. The wise guy decides to take a wave off instead. Well, when your hook is down, a lot can happen on this kind of a deal. You don't have to be exactly brilliant to see that this rug is a real phony. So I try to give Chuck the wave off, but no luck.
So to the American.
He wants to be living proof that there's one born every minute, and he is. If only he were different in a plane. But he isn't. He's ready to come aboard. He follows his check-off list. Hook down, check. Wheels down, check. Canopy open and locked, check. Flaps down, check. Prop low pitch, shoulder harness locked and tightened. Guns on, safe, switches off. Rocket switched off and safe. Bomb switched off and safe. Patch armor switched off. Check. He's all set. His approach is good. Not too high or too low. Not too fast, not too slow. He's just right. But I give him the wave off. But he gives it the cut. Well, he landed okay. Except he didn't know the deck was foul. The wave off and the cut are the only mandatory signals I give, and always for good reasons. It's healthier to obey them. Willie was shopping for a distinctive gift, and he found a very good buy in a flying carpet. And very sensibly insisted on a free trial, which surprisingly was eminently successful up to the point where Willie put too much confidence in the carpet's flying ability instead of landing it himself. He held off, as we say in Navy circles. So like him. Well, here's a recent snapshot of Willie with barriers. I tagged along with two of the boys, Frenchie and his buddy Mike, who wanted to get a fast look around. And fast look is what it was. Overshoots the groove every chance he gets. Oh, can you imagine what happens if a guy flies an airplane this way? In spite of everything you do to bring him in right, he'll overshoot the groove and come in at an angle. And that does it, brother. Well, Frenchie must have been lucky.
Move over. I'll show you how to pilot this heap.
Anyhow, nothing has happened yet, and we're still in the groove. Diving for the deck. Why do they do this to me? And this guy calls himself a flyer. But just because he gets in the landing circle properly and goes through his checkoff list like any good pilot, that doesn't make him a flyer. All right, so his approach is good. And he reacts nicely to my signals. So then what? I'll tell you what. I give him the cut. Why, oh, why does he shove the stick forward and hit the deck wheels first? I wish I knew. Uh-oh. I wonder wonder what Harry's up to.
50 cents for the magic word. Quick! Somebody take my picture!
But it's the same on the carrier. I've got to give him a wave off. He attempts recovery by jamming the throttle forward, applying left rudder, and horsing back on the stick. He sets himself up for a spin. When you get in such a position, don't over-control. Take it easy and make that recovery safe. On all your landings, you've got to line up with the deck and fly the plane all the way in till you land her. How's your approach technique?
Have you ever wondered about a Raindrop's family? Let's drop in on Papa Cloud and Junior Raindrop. Uh-oh.
Junior, get up. Get up. It's time for you to visit your Mother Earth.
Oh, Pop. Let me stay here with you.
Stop your pouting, and mind you, behave yourself. Get along now. Off with you. So long, son.
The automatic cloud gates open wide and out tumble millions of earthbound raindrops.
Fine welcome this is. Mother Earth can't kick me around. I'll run away.
So, Junior joins a group of other raindrops looking for excitement. The bare soil speeds them on their way. Nobody seems to care what they do. As he passes by, he hears plants talking. Some are so sick from having too many cows and sheep chewing on them, it will take years to get well. Other plants are dying from the same cause. They say unless fewer cattle and sheep are allowed on watersheds like this, ruin will follow.
Gosh, I hope this watershed isn't made better. Because if it is, we can't slide on it anymore.
Oh, well, let's leave Junior to himself for a while. You know, little runaway raindrops love forests where too many trees have been cut down and rangelands that are overgrazed. They especially love burned over spots like this to dig their heels into. These hoodlum raindrops leave a trail of erosion, wasting soil that is needed to grow plants for grazing cattle and sheep, and trees for timber, soil that is needed for growing food, soil needed to store some of that water. They choke streams, boiling water needed for our farms, our industries and homes. They leave silt in reservoirs. Wasted work. Reservoirs are built to store water, not mud. Well, I wonder what's happened to Junior. Just what I feared. He's formed a gang, and they're whooping it up for a flash flood. They're rushing down the canyon. They've made a wall of water 20 feet high. Look out! Too late. Now Junior is a real outlaw. No longer satisfied with flash floods, the gang is planning bigger and wetter floods. Junior's getting dangerous. He's getting tougher and bolder every day. Now he's top gangster. Heading for the big time, raging along, waging gang war. Robbing, destroying, killing. And all because somebody started a forest fire. Somebody cut down too many trees. Somebody put too many cattle and sheep on this range. Well, sir, Pop Cloud is pretty disgusted with man's carelessness. He knows it isn't Mother Earth's fault. She just isn't getting cooperation from enough people in the USA. Everybody is affected by the way watersheds are managed, and everybody ought to do something about it. It's too bad Junior didn't know his watersheds and land on a good one. Junior and all the other raindrops could be useful if they're treated right. If they were welcomed on a cushion of plants, trees, grass, and leaves, they would seep slowly through the earth into springs, trickle into streams, keep house for the fish. They would splash in lakes and pools and fill irrigation ditches with clear drinks for farm crops and orchards. In ever-increasing numbers, they would use their excess energy to supply power and light for people's needs. Supporting ships of commerce, the raindrops finally enter the ocean. Until more people cut only trees that can be spared without damaging the land, and plant seedlings as needed, improve their management of rangelands by allowing no more cattle and sheep than there's grass to feed, and reseed when necessary. Until more people are careful not to start forest fires, we can't expect little raindrops to behave. So Pop Cloud has signaled the sun to bring Junior back. It's time to talk things over about how Earth folks, for their own good, should play fair with raindrops.
Gosh, it's good to be back here with you, Pop.
And I'm glad to have you home again with me, son. Hi there, Ugh. Big battle? Election time again? Anybody win? Would you like to see how it's done in the United States, Ugh? Here it is done by divided responsibility, shared by agreement on boundary lines. Your school district, then the city limit, the water district, the county boundary, the state boundary, the national boundary. These are all man-made boundaries, so that we know where each responsibility lies. These lines are no good by themselves. They need protecting and maintaining. That's where government comes in. Here are the old colonial boundaries of North America. When the founding fathers wrote the Constitution, they had to speak with one voice nationally, while respecting the rights of local, individual self-government. How did they do it? Well, the answer is with the Constitution. The Constitution gives to the national government only that power necessary to govern broad national affairs. All other governmental power is reserved to the states. The authority of the Constitution is agreed on by all in this federal system. Now let's see how this relates to you, HUGH. This is one way to run a city, HUGH, but not very efficient. The people who live in a city want it organized a little better than this, so that they don't get in each other's way all the time, and so they can get help when they need it. So they have a city government, and in most cities, the mayor is in charge. If you were elected to be mayor, you'd work with all these departments to help run the city government. How would you like to be mayor, HUGH? This department can decide that you should have good paved streets. It raises the money by taxes and builds the roads. The Park and Recreation Department, which looks after the beauty of the city and its outdoor activities. Then there's street lighting, electricity, water, and so on. All these things can be done because the people in your city have decided to do together what each man cannot do by himself, to make the city run harmoniously and efficiently. Your salary and those of the other city employees are paid from taxes collected in the city. Now the city is in a state, and so you must conform to the state laws. Larger than a city, but still smaller than the state, is the county. The county government is responsible only for those duties that lie beyond city limits, but still aren't as big as the state. The county administration differs from state to state, but most counties are run by the Board of Supervisors, and they include the sheriff, the county court, the judges, and so on. Perhaps you'd like to work in the county, HUGH, maybe being the sheriff. The sheriff's job is mainly to keep the peace in the county. Quiet! But the greatest governmental influence in your life comes from the state you live in. The early state constitutions were originally the colonial charters. In 1776, they became the basis of state law, even before the national constitution was created. The oldest executive job in the United States is that of the state governor, who's elected to his office usually for a 4-year term. If you were governor, you'd administer the government of your state. You'd work with the state legislature. That's usually made up of 2 houses called the lower house and the upper house, or Senate. They meet each year to pass new laws important to the state. Quite often, groups of citizens meet with these lawmakers, setting forth their complaints or making requests for new or different laws. As the governor, you have the most power in your state. And yet, you must know the needs of the state, and in your messages to the legislature, you must try to convince the lawmakers of these needs. To assist you, you have a lieutenant governor who presides over the state senate and would replace you if you were not able to carry out your duties. The Secretary of State records the official acts of the state. The treasurer collects the state taxes, and he has an auditor who checks the books and authorizes the money that's to be spent. Your attorney general is the chief legal officer in the state, and the superintendent of public instruction administers the state school system. The men in these positions can be elected, but in some states they're appointed by the governor. Now collectively, all these states make up the United States, and we govern the nation through the Constitution. It's up to the President of the United States, who is elected by the people of every state, to see that the will of the people is reflected in his government. Now, if you were to be President of the United States, you would have more responsibility than anyone else in the country and probably in the whole world. You would have a lot of work to do as the chief executive of your country, possibly 50 times more than that of the governor of a state. Because you now have to be so many things to so many people, you are the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, the head of the Space Administration, in charge of foreign policies, director of all the government administration, running a business with over 2 million employees, all of them working for you. You have to feel the needs of the country and apply the constitutional laws according to those needs. You have some special help, too. The FBI, the Secret Service, and oversees the Central Intelligence Agency. To help you make your decisions and carry out your duties, you have a cabinet, a group of people selected by you to help you administer the affairs of the government. There's the Secretary of State, appointed by the President to conduct foreign affairs. He has a large organization spreading all over the world in over 100 U.S. embassies, as well as other bureaus and organizations here at home. Within our hemisphere, he represents the United States in the Organization of American States, which provides cooperation between the various American countries. Among the members of the cabinet is the Secretary of the Treasury, who looks after the money raised by the government. That's about $100 billion each year. He collects this from a number of sources: internal revenue, usually called income taxes, customs duties, excise taxes, and so on. A very important member of the cabinet is the Secretary of Defense. More than half of our national budget is spent on defense, defending the nation against possible attack and running our armed services, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, to ensure that American people can live in peace and freedom. He is a civilian, but he can direct the military services to carry out the President's decisions. There are 7 other departments represented in the cabinet. There's the Department of the Interior and the Justice Department, the Department of Agriculture, the Post Office, Labor Department, Commerce, and one with a long name, the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. No possible area of government is neglected in the American federal system, and all administered with justice for all. This can be achieved by a careful balance of power. An elected president who exercises power on behalf of the will of the majority of the people, the Supreme Court, who must interpret the laws of the land fairly, and the legislature, or the lawmaking branch, which has 2 parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. They pass the laws recommended by their own members or by the president if they agree with them. Under this system, the state and local governments maintain their own control for the good of the local scene, while the bigger issues, the national ones, are settled in Washington. Thus, the individual has the best chance of protection, of physical freedom and of freedom of speech, freedom of worship, and fair treatment under law. All of this is controlled by the citizens themselves, whose votes can change things that are unjust and outdated. Progress is the law of democratic government, evolution toward the best possible society. Now, Hugh, what do you think? Do you want to take part in this, or do you want to go on scratching and fighting? Okay, let's take part and enjoy this great system. This is the working government in the United States of America.